Home Alone is directed by Christopher Columbus and is written by John Hughes. The film stars Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern, and tells a story about a kid named Kevin who gets left home alone on the holidays and is trying to have the best time of his life, but starts to learn that he does love his family and misses them. But while this is happening, a couple of criminals are trying to break into his home, and so he's doing what he can to try and defend his home before they are able to break in, hurt him, and he's trying to save his family's home. You know this story already. Home Alone is one of the most influential Christmas movies ever, and if you ask me, it's my personal favorite. I love Home Alone. It is a fantastic movie. There is very little that I could say about the film that is absolutely wrong. There's barely any problems I have. The Christmas spirit and warmth of the film, the comedic nature of it all is just fantastic. This was Christopher Columbus and John Hughes at their prime, and we're going to get into why. For one, I love the family dynamic here. Even if you don't know a lot of these characters' names because it's a very big family, you can tell that there's a lot of personality, especially with Buzz and his brother Kevin. And these two, for the little screen time they share together, you can definitely tell what kind of relationship they have and that they really don't care for one another, at least at first. I mean, they are still family, they still love each other, but they are really annoyed with each other and don't really like hanging out with each other. They just love each other due to them being brothers and them being a family. But everyone else in the family, including Buzz, they see Kevin as a nuisance and as a troublemaker, and that's why they all look down on him. He's not able to take care of himself all that much, and because of that, he gets into a lot of trouble, and when it hits a breaking point near the beginning of the film before everyone leaves the next day, him and his mother, played by Catherine O'Hara, say a lot of mean things to each other that they definitely regret. But I love this part of the film. You can definitely tell that while Kevin's mother is getting tired of Kevin at this point, and she does still love him, but she is sick of everything that he's doing just as much as the family, and this was her breaking point. She was trying to be nice at first. She was one of the only few people that did not really treat him bad, but this was her breaking point, and you can definitely tell that this feels a lot like a betrayal for Kevin, that she's the one person he could really talk to in this movie, but it was all in Kevin's doing. The movie doesn't shy away from showing Kevin as a very flawed character that you don't know if he's going to be unlikable later on. And after everyone leaves to the airport and they forget about him, and Kevin finds that he's home alone, all the pieces have been set in motion to where you can understand why he would be happy being home alone. I also love how this movie was able to showcase the joys of that at first, and how it slowly develops him starting to grow up a little bit. At first, he just jumps around in his parents' bed. He runs around crazy. He is excited. He's eating large amounts of ice cream that are very concerning for his health, and watching movies that he shouldn't. But after a scene that movie scares him, I love this little edit to where it's like an echo that Kevin lets out when he's calling for mom. It's that echo, in a way, gets to his mother, which is the next edit to where she notices something is wrong. It's a nice little edit. Realistically, she did not really hear him, but I love that little edit to where the scream was the call for help is like an echo, and his mother is waking up to that and realizing that Kevin is gone. It's one of the few instances in the film where the filmmaking aspect is shown to be incredible. This movie was very well edited and very well directed, perfectly. Not much continuity errors here. Maybe you could pick up on some here and there, but continuity wise, it is very well. The comedic timing was just perfect, especially between Harry and Marv, played by Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. Like, these two actors and characters together have really good chemistry with one another. You tell that they easily get tired with one another, but you can understand why they do work really well together, as they both fail very well together, as we will see later on. Now, in the middle aspect of the film, when Kevin is trying to defend himself and trying to defend his fun time, he starts to slowly learn that he does miss his family. And this is a turning point where he's not having fun right now. He's not messing around the house. He's making sure everything is clean. He's making sure everything gets groceries. He's being responsible around the house and actually trying to live a normal life, it seems, to make sure everything's tidy up, washing clothes. And it does develop his character after he looks at the picture with his family, and he really longs for them to come back home and is waiting for that, to give them that apology that he needs to give them. That's when he starts to be more responsible and trying to be a better son for his family, trying to show that he is willing to change because he does love them deep down. And it's a nice little character progression after all the fun he had. There's also a little subplot between an old man that he's scared of, and throughout the film this old man shows up and scares Kevin, like how Kevin was scared at the basement and doesn't really like going down there. He gets over that pretty quickly, but the old man, it scares him more as he hears a story between Buzz and his brother when they looked at this man outside, and they tell this very creepy story about how he keeps his victims in his house and kills them, and it creates a lot of tension whenever he's around. It sets him up to be like the secret villain. But later on in the film, when Kevin starts to really want his family back, and he sees all these people around the holidays with the family, and he realizes that being alone is not really the best thing if you don't have people to share great moments around the holidays with. And so he goes to church, and you will assume that he's going there to pray. And most likely he was. He was going to go there and pray to God for his family to come back. But then the old man is there and walks up to him, but they have a nice conversation. It is one of my favorite moments, if not my favorite moment in the entire film. I love the trap sequence, but this moment to where Kevin is able to talk to someone face to face, not like have like a quick banter back and forth with a random person. He is able to talk to someone, have an actual conversation about all the flaws he has, what he's done that he regrets, and how that is similar to what the old man has gone through in his life with his family and his daughter, and how they're able to uplift each other in this moment and find out that they're not that different. And so they're able to help each other out, give each other good advice, and this sets the entire movie in motion. Kevin's mother is trying to come back home and is actually getting help from other people, especially this band that is willing to get her home in time in their van. Realistically, that does sound sketchy, but for holiday movie logic, I like this aspect, especially considering the fact that it is John Candy that helps Catherine O'Hara out. And John Candy is really good here, really funny, but everything is now set in motion for the final battle. And this part, I always love, and still to this day, Home Alone is a classic because of the ending. The traps here are violent, they are pretty brutal. I love the realistic sound effects and how all these traps are set, how they were shot, the comedic nature, the editing. It's like, this whole scene goes hard. It is funny, It is a bit intense at times. It is crazy. It is a bit violent. Like, oh my god. Some of my favorite traps include like the iron to the face, or when Marv steps on that nail. Look, guys, I have a nail that comes out my stairs every time I hammer it down, but each time I step on that nail, I always end up like Marv. It's just, that was like the most relatable moment in the movie for me. Then Kevin gets saved by the old man after the criminals, Harry and Marv, are able to outsmart him, and like everything goes well. They go to prison, and now Kevin is just waiting for his family. First, this morning comes, he finds that his family is still not here, and he feels like they're not coming back. He lost all hope. And then his mother comes into the door, greets him, and they have that nice little exchange to where they just say they're sorry to each other. Catherine O'Hara's the mother character says this first, considering the fact that she did say a bunch of things to him that she regret, especially considering the fact that she left him alone. That apology is all that Kevin needed, because he realized his mistakes too. But all that matters to him now is that his mother is here, and they're able to be together for the holidays. His entire family comes. Buzz acknowledges that he is not such a screw up and that he did a good job taking care of the place, and you can definitely tell that brotherly bond is there and they do love each other. But the final scene in which Kevin goes to the window, sees old man Marley with his family reunited with them too as well, knowing that he was able to uplift him and help him reunite with his own brother and family, and he's able to see his granddaughter for real once again. And then they look at each other and wave, and the sweeping John Williams music plays. I was like, the movie couldn't have ended on a much perfect note. And then you get Kevin being yelled at his brother at the end, knowing that he screwed something up. It's like, I love it. This is like, I can't think of any other way to end this movie. This was like the perfect note to end on. And like, with so many heartwarming moments and fantastic character progression and character development, with great funny moments here and there, a nice Christmas spirit that doesn't feel tagged on, themes of family that still hits very home for many people, including me. Like, this movie to me connects with me more personally than most other Christmas movies, as there was a time in my life where I kind of went through the same thing, not in the same exact manner. Like, I did not like fight criminals or something like that, but having to long for your family and want to be with your family for the holidays, or not just for the holidays, but being with your family in general, and realizing that being alone is not really the best thing. This movie has a good message, and it doesn't preach about it. It just shows our characters going through what the movie is trying to tell you, and it feels natural. You understand each of these characters and what they want. I could find very little wrong, honestly. There's like very little I could say that in a filmmaking level or in a pure enjoyment level that I could say that's wrong. Because of how good this movie is, I forget about it. The editing is fantastic. The direction, the music, the characters, the acting, like everything about this movie works so well. It is my favorite Christmas movie. It's one that I highly recommend you watch every holiday season. And for that, I'm going to give Home Alone an A+. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and have a happy holiday.